You're with the hard facts from the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime Studio. Viewers, for a while now, we've been watching politicians in the opposition trying to stoke tensions over the last 10 years. We've succeeded in identifying the usual suspects. And they've succeeded to the extent that we've seen pro-Khalistan groups infiltrate the farmers' protest and pull down the tricolour from the ramparts of the Red Fort. They've succeeded because we've seen radicals riot in the capital. They've succeeded because we've seen a so-called people's protest in Shaheen Bagh become the staging ground for a potential insurgency. Even the courts were concerned, declaring it illegal, viewers. Now, before the Haryana elections, we are seeing an attempt at inciting people by suggesting the Modi government sabotaged Vinesh Phogat's campaign for gold at the Olympics. On the Waqf issue that was hotly debated today in Parliament, viewers, and the pictures on the right are from Parliament, you even had a Samajwadi Party MP stand up and warn against the consequences of passing a bill to amend the Waqf Act of 1995, saying that the Muslims will be out on the streets. The ploy is being spoken about quite openly, with many a congressman coming out and even implying that the country is ripe for a revolt against the Modi government. One Congress leader has even called upon the people to throw Modi out of power like the protesters have done in Dhaka with Sheikh Hasina. Viewers, listen in to some of the commentary.
May look normal in Kashmir, everything may look normal here. We may be celebrating the victory, although of course some people believe that that victory or that success of 2024 was perhaps only marginal, perhaps a lot more needs to be done. But the fact remains that under the surface there is a worrisome thing about what's happening in Bangladesh. What's happening in Bangladesh can happen here.
और ये जो बेरोजगारी है वो बहुत बढ़ चुका है आर्थिक विकास के बावजूद। मतलब वहाँ की परिस्थिति और हमारी परिस्थिति में काफ़ी एक कंपैरिजन कर सकते हो कि जैसा कि शक पैदा हुआ लोगों के मन में बांग्लादेश में कि ये फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन है क्या, वैसे ही शक यहाँ भी आने लगे हैं।
मैं तो सिर्फ इतनी बात कहना चाहता हूँ, 2 दिन से टीवी पे आप देख रहे हो, बांग्लादेश की जनता शेख हसीना की गलत नीतियों की वजह से, बांग्लादेश की सरकार की गलत नीतियों की वजह से कल प्रधानमंत्री आवास में घुस गई, राष्ट्रपति भवन में घुस गई। याद रखना नरेंद्र मोदी जी, एक दिन ये जनता जितने सड़क पे हिलोरे ले रही है, एक दिन तुम्हारी गलत नीतियों से तुम्हारे प्रधानमंत्री निवास में घुस जाएगी, कब्जा कर लेगी। अभी श्रीलंका में हुआ, पहले श्रीलंका में जनता प्रधानमंत्री के घर में घुसी, अब बांग्लादेश में घुसी। अब भारत का नंबर है।
Viewers, if Congress MLAs like Sajjan Kumar are to be believed, Sajjan Verma rather, are to be believed, the Congress is hoping that where it could not succeed in 3 attempts to topple the Modi government through the ballot, the people will do it by biting the bullet. Viewers, it is all looking a little too ominous. And the BJP is reacting, nervously looking over its shoulder at what awaits Prime Minister Modi's government. Remember, viewers, a similar situation arose in the 70s. And the Congress will always tell you that the reason Indira Gandhi imposed emergency was to protect her government, her democratically elected government, from anarchy. Viewers, first listening to the BJP.
सलमान खुर्शीद का बयान कोई सहयोग नहीं, ये सोचा समझा कांग्रेस का प्रयोग था, इसलिए कांग्रेस ने उस बयान का ना खंडन किया ना कोई कार्रवाई की। और अब सलमान खुर्शीद के बाद हमने देखा सज्जन वर्मा, और सज्जन वर्मा के बाद अब मणिशंकर अय्यर ने भी वही तुलना की, वही अपेक्षा की है कि जो बांग्लादेश में हुआ, जो बांग्लादेश में हिंसा हुई, वो भारत में भी हो सकती है। मतलब कि मोदी विरोध करते करते किस प्रकार से भारत के लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं का विरोध करना, उसके ऊपर सवाल प्रश्न चिन्ह खड़े कर देना, भारत की एपॉलिटिकल सेना पर सवाल खड़े कर देना, और हिंसा के लिए लोगों को भड़काना, और उसके लिए एक
Well, the BJP, as I said, viewers, expressing apprehensions. Now, here's how the Congress has looked for issues to spread disaffection. Note the contradiction in its own stand. Charge 1 against the Congress, viewers, it's inciting Muslims. This is what the BJP says. They cite the instance of the CA. The fact is that the Congress opposed the CA, but Nehru backed similar right to return for Hindus from Bangladesh and other countries where they were not well off. Instance 2, the Waqf Act amendment. The fact is, viewers, that the Congress today opposes these amendments, but the Sachar panel and the joint parliamentary panel under the UPA recommended the same changes as in the NDA Waqf amendment bill. Who are they trying to kid? The Triple Talaq bill, viewers. The fact is that the Congress said Triple Talaq would criminalize divorce, but the Supreme Court upheld the tenets of the bill, viewers. Another charge they made was by crying conspiracy over Vinesh Phogat. The fact is, not just Vinesh, but Italy's Emanuela Liuzzi was also disqualified from the Paris Olympics after she was found overweight. But we didn't hear Italy's opposition playing politics. The Indian Wrestling Federation had very little liability in Vinesh's case. The federation made an exception for Vinesh, allowing her to have a personal coach and dietitian. Vinesh, in fact, handpicked her coach and dietitian. The Indian Wrestling Federation agreed to her demands and the choice. Vinesh has been with the same coach and dietitian team when she wrestled in the 50 kilogram category in Bishkek for the Olympic qualification tournament and the Grand Prix of Spain. There are so many facts, viewers, that disprove what the Congress has been saying. So what really is the Congress trying to do? Is the India bloc trying to do, viewers? Is there a larger game? Are they trying to incite to spread disaffection, disability? That's the fundamental question. Let's open this up. And also want to tell you, viewers, that viewers, don't think regime change can't happen in a broad-based, massive country like India. It has happened in countries with geographies bigger than India. But let me open this up. Let me begin with Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, we are hearing Congress people now pretty much crawl out of the woodwork and use Bangladesh and what is happening in Bangladesh as some sort of a template and selling it to the public to say, look, if you are not happy with Modi, this is what you can do. Is this responsible? Is this Bharat Jodo or Bharat Todo, sir?
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you so much for having me on the show. We've mixed up, I think, too many issues, but let's stick to Bangladesh because that's a fundamental issue. Couple of individual comments you showed. People who had at some point been relevant, not very relevant now, and a sitting MLA who I believe, and a sitting MLA who I believe
is irrelevant.
Yes, I do believe that, but the others. But at the same time, the man with a spine of a molten eclair, the Honorable Home Minister of India, in the Parliament of India, said about Bangladeshis being termites. You just used the word crawling out of the woodwork. I think termites only crawl out. The Home Minister said it, and you know what happened. Track 2 diplomacy had to be evoked. We had to apologize to Bangladesh. Bangladesh took strict objection. This, when Sheikh Hasina, our best friend, and Bangladesh, our most closest neighbor, that was the irresponsible statement made by the Home Minister. The same Home Minister, in the opening remarks, you said 2 riots in Delhi.
What was he doing? Was he snoozing? He was talking about illegal refugees. Let's be a little accurate.
Beings termites.
I am not.
To call anybody termites.
I'm not defending that.
To call anybody termites because they come from a particular geography is nothing short of distasteful and inhuman and does not go with
So
Indian
you're saying they're
values
trying to
and
dehumanize them?
The Home Minister
So that they can take action.
That's why they apologize.
Well, tell me something.
Well, you have to apologize.
When you call, hang on, just a minute before everyone gets too excited. When you attack people from the Sangh and dehumanize them, when you dehumanize the Prime Minister, for instance. hang on. When you call him a cockroach, when you call him all sorts of gutter snipe, God alone knows what else that has been said about him. And then on top of it, your leaders like Mani Shankar Aiyar and company stand up and say, people, look what's happening in Bangladesh, you can do it here too. Is this sort of extrajudicial solution? Hang on. Does it even behove the Congress party that claims to be a party that is committed to constitutionalism? Rahul Gandhi holds the constitution like this and parades it. The constitution says that India will have elections, my dear. Not overthrows. This is not some French Revolution period, and we are not being ruled by Marie Antoinette and her husband.
True. So let me just divide this into two. First, yes, terrible language used for the Honorable Prime Minister. He used terrible language for Mrs. Gandhi. Jersey cow. Let's be clear.
Doesn't mean that two wrongs make a right.
No, it doesn't.
Do two wrongs make a right?
I don't.
Then it should behave upon the Congress.
And I hope the Prime Minister also
hang on, to take the high road.
Mangal Sutra.
No, one second. No, the point is,
the
point is,
sir, that mutton,
all of that was settled. All of that was settled by the electorate in the 2024 elections. No, one second. Democratically, what these individuals, do you agree with these undemocratic guillotine-like situations coming to your house?
With that.
Then
I
what
don't
is the
agree with that. But
then if you don't agree with it, and you are such a spokesperson for the Congress party in the sense that you're a supporter for the Congress party, and that you also belong to a, you're not some absolute outsider fringe element. Tehseen, you're related to the first family of the Congress. Many people equate it with political royalty in this country. Now, I want to ask you. No, you're not a common man. You're the Aam Aadmi of the variety that Robert Vadra has talked about.
I'm the most common man you'll ever
you are wanting to reduce this country to a banana republic, and why? If you believe these are distasteful statements, why isn't Rahul Gandhi, who holds the constitution, coming out and saying that these statements are awful and these people need to be sacked?
Again, we are mixing up two issues.
How am I mixing up two issues? Is he not an MLA, this gentleman, Sajjan Verma?
And India, thanks to Nehru and the constitution that Rahul Gandhi holds up, will have free and fair elections. But, let me just put it. Sheikh Hasina dreamt of a opposition Mukt Bangladesh. Guess who else said that? Sheikh Hasina kept calling the opposition anti-national and protesters vested interests funded by foreigners.
Sir, it happened in Bangladesh.
I am saying
the opposition did not contest elections. No, I am not sitting here in defense of Sheikh Hasina. I am talking about focus on...
I want to make... What should be the focus? Should the focus be two retired Fawley statements they made, or should the focus be our Hindus in Bangladesh? What should be the focus? Is that also Rahul Gandhi's fault?
Just
because the Prime Minister is not capable of saving Hindus in Bangladesh,
hang on.
the attention is diverted to Mani Shankar Aiyar, who's retired.
I don't want to...
Can the Prime Minister actually save Hindus in Bangladesh? That is the question. That should be our responsibility.
Let me bring in editor of ANI, Smita Prakash.
Or he should accept his
One second, before I bring in Guru Prakash Paswan, as well as Dr. Suman C. Raman. Now, you heard Tehseen Poonawala, and I deliberately stuck with him for a few moments, Smita Prakash, so we could understand where he was coming from. He's clearly not coming from a very democratic, constitutional point of view, because he disagrees with the manner in which Sajjan Verma has expressed himself, but his own Sambandhi, who runs the Congress, who's the leader of the opposition today, in charge of upholding at least 50% of the constitution, is quiet. That means he endorses. His silence endorses. Smita Prakash.
Rahul, thank you. Happy to be back on your show. Before I come to the topic of this fault lines and Mani Aiyars and Salman Khurshid's, may I respond to what Tehseen's point on termites was? On the one hand, Tehseen would like to talk about the language use, but it's the same Home Minister who staked his all for bringing in the CAA law, which will benefit refugees from Bangladesh more than any other country. Now, about them being fringe elements that you're talking about, I think it's more like testing of waters, which is being done to see whether this holds true or not. And why am I not surprised at Salman Khurshid's remarks or Mani Shankar Aiyar's remarks? Because any political party in the opposition would love to piggyback on a student revolution or a caste or race-based agitation to take mileage out of an unrest and score political points to the extent of even overthrowing the governments, as you pointed out.
Yes.
It's happened before in many parts of the world, so it's not something new. Why is this situation in Bangladesh something that the opposition in India would want to replicate or hope to replicate? Because they feel that, like Bangladesh under Hasina, India too is under what they are terming as democratic autocracy. It's a narrative that the opposition has propagated in the media, in the parliament, and that the elections of 2024 have not been free and fair, and that's because the institutions, which includes media, they have not given a level playing field for the opposition. Similar to what the students in Bangladesh started with. When they started the agitation, they began with that, and then the quota issue in Bangladesh, that came out onto the streets, and that got hijacked by political parties, and that became something which was discriminatory policies, Awami League, dissatisfaction. So some elements in India saw that, like the CAA, which you pointed out, or the Agniveer protest, or the farmers' protest
tried
in
everything.
India, those could have been potentially the spark to ignite. Yeah, that could have been something that could have led to the toppling of the Modi government. But then what happened was that we have institutions in place which allow for
Democratic
things
expression.
like
Absolutely.
discussions. It's a mature democracy that we have.
Yes.
So conflict resolution has place in India, which doesn't have. So that therefore political instability is something which happened in India because of these agitations, but did not result in a revolution. But it's a wet dream that many politicians have. That's something that they could replicate what happened in
And
Bangladesh.
therefore, you can have it if you're a fringe player in Indian politics, but you can't have it when you aspire to be the government that wants to succeed the NDA. Guru Prakash Paswan, where do you come in on this? Many people are saying you're perpetuating conditions of the kind that we are seeing in Bangladesh, and therefore there is an incipient fear of an uprising. Dr. Suman C. Raman will say that to you. How will you?
No, Rahul, the basic of political science tells us that foreign policy should not be the domain of domestic politics. These are two different things. But my friend from the Congress party has suggested that, and someone like Mani Shankar Aiyar or Salman Khurshid, they are former external affairs minister. They are not some random party karyakarta. They are not some random district president. They have been at the position of foreign minister, representing the views and the ideas of government of India, articulating the expression of 1.4 billion people. So today, if my friend Tehseen says that irrelevant or irrelevant, that doesn't make a sense. Tomorrow, if Sam Petruda says something, you disqualify him. Day after tomorrow, you accept him. Tehseen, it is time you own up to the idiosyncrasies of these party office bearers. These are not some random karyakartas. Point number one. Point number two, Mr. Salman Khurshid is the same person who goes on the soil of a foreign land. He goes to Pakistan and says कि भाई भारत में जो सरकार है उसको गिराना है, आप हमारा साथ दीजिए, हम भारत की सरकार को गिराएंगे. It is not some random कार्यकर्ता. Mr. Salman Khurshid is the same man who says after the Butler House encounter, just to communalize, just to polarize the politics, जब ये encounter हुआ था तो सोनिया गांधी की आंखों में आंसू आए थे. So this is our point. As far as the government of India is concerned, Rahul, the government of India solidly stands with the people of Bangladesh. The Prime Minister himself is closely monitoring the situation. The Honorable Minister of External Affairs briefed the all-party meeting. If the situation arises, we rose up to the situation as well. Bangladesh and India are natural allies. You would very well remember the land boundary agreement, the 115th Constitutional Amendment Bill, where we ceded land